My name is Jörg Tittel from RapidEyeMovers, and I'll be your host tonight. So any complaints, send them directly to DevGAMM, and I don't want to hear about them. But I would like you to give you a big round of applause for our sponsors, Xsolla. Thank you all for coming. I'm excited about this. Public pitches are absolutely harrowing, especially for game developers who are used to, hiding away from the public for the most part. One thing I've realized as someone running a game studio is that every day is a public pitch. I mean, you're essentially having to convince everybody you work with, everyone that you want to work with, everyone you want money from, not to mention the public at large, the communities that you're trying to build from day one now, ideally, of your vision. So you're constantly pitching. So doing a public pitch like this shouldn't just be a freak incident. It is an incredible lesson for life. And the other thing that's also really important to remember is that games are not just a digital piece of content, a sort of artifact to get lost in our sort of endless sort of landfills and e-stores. Those are beautiful expressions of our soul and our humanity, and they deserve to be shouted loud and proud out to the largest crowds imaginable. And games are show business. They're entertainment. We have essentially de facto replaced what used to be films and movies and music topping the charts. Now it's games, or it could be games, and I think we can be even better at this. So I'm very excited about 5 amazing candidates today pitching their games loud and proud, and hopefully communicating what is the most important thing about games, and it's gameplay. And how do they bring delight, whether it's horrific or for all ages or depressing or funny, it doesn't matter what it is, but it has to delight. And I'm looking forward to these people delighting us tonight. I'll be introducing them one by one. The format is going to be 5 minutes per pitch, and then 5 minutes for the jury to deliberate on each pitch and ask questions if they choose to. And so let me first introduce you to our very esteemed jury members. And we have 4 of them tonight. And I'm going to start with Simay, Dinc, co-founder of Recontact Games, who is here. Loud applause, please. And Ilayda Bayari, who is the VP of Business Development in Iberia and MEA at Xsolla, our sponsor as well. Alex Nichiporchik, CEO of tinyBuild, right here. And Douglas Morin, ex-CEO of Devolver Digital, but also a board member at Raw Fury, and generally just an amazing guy and a dear friend. So here he is. And so this brings us, I think. Anton, do you authorize me to go to the first candidate? The first candidate of this fine event is a game called Babushcats. You can laugh louder, because it's actually a fucking cool name. Developed by Deez Games, and the presenter tonight is Mikołaj Skrzydlewski, przepraszam. Enjoy.
Okay, wow. I can honestly say it feels so great to be here. Let me start like this. Are there any cat lovers in the audience tonight? Okay, we have a good start. Okay, so my name is Mikołaj, and my team is developing a little game called Babushcats. In our game, you take a role of an elderly woman whose main task and first task is to take care of stray kittens that comes to her house. Every kitten that Grandma encounters has its own set of needs that must be taken care of. These needs may vary from just simple hunger to a crippling catnip addiction that must be taken care of immediately. Stay with me now. There are 2 main benefits of helping your cats. First one is earning the currency. You can exchange your currency to build up your house, buy new rooms, upgrade your furniture, buy new furniture, decorate your house, do many amazing things around the day cycle. But there's other side. The other side is that each cat has its own bond system based on what are you doing with him, how are you taking care of him. If you are doing good deeds to your cat, feeding him, petting him, buffing him, he will grow attachment to you. You can check your attachment levels in a special room in our house called the hub. As you can see now, there's a profile of your cat. This current cat has 6 needs. He is sleepy, he needs to take a poo, he needs catnip, and his favorite food is lasagna. But also he is on 4th level of attachment. It means we unlocked 2 skills of your cats. And here's the plot twist. Every your pupil has some skills that are hidden. You unlock them by growing your attachment level. But we'll touch that subject a little bit later. Let's talk about a main game loop. You start a day, but taking care of cats that came to your house. You earn currency, build up your house, and live happily. But the end of each day starts a preparation phase. Each night, you come to sleep, and you start a combat with nightmares and biggest fears of your cats. After combat, you earn rewards that lead the main storyline forward and lets you progress in a game. Let's talk about fighting your nightmares. So, we wanted to end to bosses in our games and enemies in our game to be interpretation of bigger fears and nightmares that people may have. For example, first boss in our game is called the Trickster, and he represents the fear of clowns. Here you can see a loop of the wave battle system. We didn't want our battles to be repetitive, so we implemented 3 different scenarios that you can take your battles at. It causes tower defense, wave battles, and bullet hell. To secure that cozy and cool, easy-looking, light-hearted dynamic, we don't use any violence, we don't use blood, but we use water guns and not normal sword melee weapons, but balloon swords and also flippers, flip-flops that you can pat evil cats with. Also, on this loop, you can see that Babushka is equipped with the lightning ability that she got from a cat with high attachment level. She can strike her enemies to damage them. Let's go forward. Here are the 4 bosses in our game, Babushcats. We want the game to be split in 4 different weeks, with each one ending with a battle of one of your fears. At the end, you will take a battle with Buzz, who is an interpretation of your biggest fears and deepest secrets. The team responsible of our project consists of 8 amazing people, each responsible for their own type in our development process, right? For example, I'm marketing director. Here's Patrick, my dear friend, who is our head of management, but we also have our sound designers, concept artists, etc. If you would be interested in joining our journey and helping us, we are looking forward to working with a publisher. We look for help in marketing and also porting the game to other platforms, especially in localization for Asian market, Japan and China. For now, here's the QR code to my LinkedIn and our contact email, and I'm sure you'll have something to say about this pitch.
Great job. I'll leave the floor to the jury.
That's a great question. So, our team started when we were in the middle school. And here's the thing. I am also in middle school still. I am in my graduate class. My colleagues graduated last year and they are in a university. So it's really, we started really early on our journey, but I think it's our strength. And the fact that we are young gives this fresh air to our job and fresh perspective. To answer your question correctly, it's not our daily job, but we are doing everything to go full hours on it.
Are you all cat lovers?
I'm sorry to say this, but I have a dog.
Okay, I will not take the full hour here, I promise. I have a lot of thoughts here. First off, the presentation is amazing, right? You're really polishing it. The transitions are really nice. One comment I have is that you don't always use the same keywords that are used on the slides, and it can be a little bit difficult to follow. You can hear that I also have an accent, right? So rule of thumb with presentations is when you know that some people may not fully understand you, is to use the same words that you're using during the slides as the accents of the slides. But that said, the production value is really good. The pitch itself, what I find interesting, and this is something I've seen here during the show today, is it seems like there's a trend when developers want to make 2 games in one. Because you talk for the first part of the pitch about the whole flow of managing your cozy babushka cat house, right? About their needs, this and that, and then you go into battle. And to me, it seems like either like choose one of those seats, right, and make it really, really good, or find a way to blend them more organically, because with cozy style games, you are introducing combat here, you're introducing action, yet it feels like what you would sell as a cozy game, right? Even though you said, oh, it's war guns, this and that, you still go, oh, I'm going to chill with my cat. Oh, no fighting.
Yeah, to answer that, I understand your concerns. But I actually think that the fact that we are combining 2 genres that are on the opposite sides of a game dev is really refreshing, and it's a great, it's a difficult task for us, but I believe we can make something new by combining things that are opposite to each other. And I believe in our project because I see a future when we make games that can go for everybody, right? Not only casual players can play it, but also players who want to be at the same time stimulated and relax. That's kind of a thing that we are trying to achieve.
How many hours gameplay you have right now?
How many hours of gameplay? That's an interesting question. I can't actually answer it at the current stage of development because the game isn't released. We haven't done playtests, and that's why we are looking for a publisher and hoping to find someone who can help us. Because we can't estimate it on a current level of development.
So, of course, 5 minutes is not enough to explain everything, but I'm just going to comment on your latest comment for Simay. So, since you guys are looking for a publisher to complete the game and have a complete full cycle of game in your hands, the thing is that when, realistically, right, when you're looking for a publisher, they would like to have a better understanding of the metrics you have. So you guys, you just mentioned that you haven't had a playtest yet. So my small suggestion is to have a simple test before going to a publisher for a hunt. Because you are also familiar with the industry, especially when we consider this as kind of a casual game, plus some additional mid-core mechanics within. It's going to take a lot of competition in terms of audience, so you guys need to have a better understanding of the CPI, retention, and other engagement metrics, so that a publisher could have more trailed questions towards your pitch and partnership.
Yeah, sure.
Douglas, anything? Do you like cats?
I like cats.
Yeah, me too.
I like cats, and I can see the appeal for, like you said in your presentation, the Asian market. Obviously, there's some ways to go on the game, but I think you've done a great job so far.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Dziękuję bardzo. Dzięki. What? Oh, the paddles. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is my first rodeo. Yeah, lift your paddles. Let's see those. Let's see those. And then the camera's over there. Over there. Cool, cool. This is good. 4 paws up on this one. And now, the second candidate. I don't know why I'm holding this. I'm holding this for them, that's right. Eternity is a game developed by Ground Control Studios. And here is our presenter, Rui Guedes. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, after the light-hearted babushka, I bring you something a bit more grim-dark. Eternity is a strategy game that takes place in a faraway future where, well, basically mankind has been extinct or has disappeared mysteriously. And you have to figure out what happened. Imagine, in terms of gameplay, imagine something like Frostpunk meets Homeworld in space, where the player controls a surviving fleet, where each ship represents a city building. So you have your hospital, your school, your hotel, etc., your refinery, and you need to build a city in space, a nomad city in space, while your population tries to find a course to figure out what happened. In terms of context, the game starts with the player leaving like a regular day warp transit with a couple more ships. When you leave, everything is gone. And you don't know why. The game doesn't tell you. You just find yourself on a routine trip and you end up on a destroyed universe. And from that point on, the player can choose his starting conditions or what ships he has on the fleet when the game starts. That defines a lot of how the game handles. Then we have, right now currently we have 20 solar systems. There are proc-gen, so each session you have a new structure, and you can travel among them freely. And by late mid-game, you find a reference to a mythical system called Eternity, and you make it your goal to get there. Managing the fleet is not simple. You have to keep an eye on each ship's water and oxygen levels. And you use water to produce oxygen, and you use oxygen to produce water, and you use both to produce food. Then you have power. So you need to keep an eye on all those gauges for every ship you have on the fleet. And then you have science, you have your innovation. You also have social policies that emerge. And a new world requires new rules. So you pass new edicts. The game allows you to follow 3 pathways: militaristic, holistic, spiritual, or scientific, and that will influence the end of the game. So when you reach Eternity system, it has a different meaning for each player. Currently, this game, oh, the black hole was here, just a click away. So in terms of the stars, okay. So in terms of a release date, we are now about 6 months into production. We estimate to have a couple, like 6 more or less. We are aiming this for a Q3 2025 release date. This game is mostly focused on the genre of players that like. Well, oh, this is how the game looks like currently. This is a HUD test. The end result is more or less like this. This is the language we are using currently for icons, for representation of the core resources, ship inspectors, fleet inspectors, solar system. This is how it looks like. In terms of topics, we are going for space exploration and survival. We are aiming people who like sci-fi games. In terms of core mechanics, we have fleet composition, we have resource management, space exploration. Yes, you can explore the planets and the satellites, abandoned ships. You can find other survivors. You also have some combat. Combat is not losing condition, so combat only exists to harass the player. You have survival challenges, you have a tech tree, so you have a whole bunch of stuff to do in the game. And in terms of sales forecast, oh no, this is not for here, sorry, next one. In terms of animation and animation, this is how it's handling right now. And in terms of length and price, we are going for a time to beat of between 10 to 15 hours. A completionist run can go through 30 or 40, but the game doesn't cap the time you can spend on a given solar system. As long as it is sustainable, the players can linger. And we also have a backlog with a DLC, and we are looking to develop this further, but introduce new play modes, including multiplayer. So this is part of the launch plan. And finally, in terms of team experience, Ground Control has been around for almost 10 years. We have been doing a lot of stuff. We have released a couple of games for mobile. We are now we're going to release our first PC game, second PC game next year, and well, we are having a ton of fun doing this one. So thank you for bearing with me for all these 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Questions?
I like science fiction.
Thank you.
So when you're presenting, it's very hard to read for the audience, and you have a lot of words. And so I wasn't able to actually read any of it. If you go below 18-point font, no one can read it anyway, especially old people like me. But I would suggest a lot more graphics, a lot more pictures, easy to follow, that flowed with your narrative, because your narrative just kind of took off. And I do have a question about the game. How do you get additional resources? I understood the water, oxygen, food part, but to get more other than that, how does that happen?
You can mine asteroids, you can mine the planets, or you can explore debris fields for wreckages and other constructs. Yeah.
I got a question. In the last slide, you had in brackets net units on mobile platforms. What does that mean?
It means that that's the total units we are planning to sell for all the platforms involved.
Right. Okay. So you already, like, for the past 10 years, you've had a few game launches that were premium mobile games.
Yes.
Right. So this was really confusing because the pitch sounded like you were doing your first PC game. Is that accurate?
Our first strategy PC game. That is correct. Yes.
Right. So you've never shipped on PC before.
No, we shipped a puzzle game. We shipped. It's a bit of an arcade shooter,
right.
A shoot 'em up, and we shipped also that was in a collaboration small adventure game.
Right. So I will echo what was already said. Show, don't tell. I have no idea what this game looks like, or I have an idea of how it plays. And the evidence was in the very first slide, right? You have a nice looking quote there, right? Mm-hmm. But then you talk about the game comparisons and what the audience is thinking of. Where can I, like, oh yeah, Frostpunk, I know that, right? Put a visual in there. Put a visual into when you're talking like about the gameplay element. Like if you're 6 months into production, make sure that the audience actually sees it, because what publishers, investors, anyone looking to support studios like yours is looking for is something that grabs their attention. So it's kind of like your first filter to figuring out what will grab people's attention, right? It's kind of like when you go around the showcase, what catches your eye. And here, my eye caught a novel worth of information, which is great, but show like in-engine stuff, please. Mm-hmm. And also, the reason I asked about the net terminology, right? It's like, is that sales? Is that this? Is that that? Show like a gross number, like in terms of USD. Or if it's a free-to-play game, then show like your conversion rates or some of your metrics. And the other part was. Here, I have no idea about the team composition, so that was completely missing.
Simay and Ilayda, any quick questions?
Did you start to, did you able to start Steam page? Or like, did you
Not
start
yet.
to community building?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So, because it's, hard to market. It's totally different thing. It's mobile marketing and the PC marketing. I totally recommend you to start day one.
Yeah, this game has been pitched already on Gamescom and on GDC.
Okay.
So we are working with we are exploring opportunities with a couple of publishing partners, and the goal is to be marketed by a publisher, not by ourselves.
I think I totally agree with Alex. So we are seeing so many pitches every day. I think we already have a chance to talk with you guys earlier, maybe at a GDC or Gamescom. The most important thing is definitely from an investor's or publisher's eye is visualization. A data, a graphic, numbers, that should be more resilient and visible to an eye. At the first slide, I should be able to see at which stage you're in, like how much months you're going to go through with the development. Have you considered any kind of like marketing materials? Of course, you mentioned that you're going to do it with a publisher, but like worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, in terms of like units, wish list, community. I think everything was listed, but if we could see it in a graphic, that would be much more easier to understand and catch it.
Sure. Yeah. For 5 minutes, it could be a bit steep, but yeah, sure.
Thank you, Rui, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think another form of visuals could be interpretative dance. If our next candidate could do that, that would be great. Oh, I don't need this. Oh, the paddles. The paddles. They're so silly, the paddles. I'm going to get fired from this job. Paddles, please. Thank you very much. I won't forget next time, DevGAMM, I promise. Third one, the Ecosphere project, developed by, you guessed it, the Ecosphere project team. And our presenter here is Gonçalo Goulao, I hope.
It's good enough.
Oh, no, come on.
Gonçalo?
Gonçalo?
Goulao.
Goulao.
Yeah.
Gonçalo Goulao.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So, hi everyone. I hope you're enjoying DevGAMM so far. So, I'll be talking about the Ecosphere project. The Ecosphere project is a simulation deck building roguelike game, where basically you mutate an entire ecosystem using cards. As you can see here, you have your species and you have your cards over there. What's the goal? So the goal is, as I said, mutate species so that they survive not only each other, but different environments and catastrophes. Here you can see our card. This is one of our species cards, and as you can see, these are bigger claws, and they will affect not only the health, but also the food, basically. Let's break down all the game elements to make this easier to understand. So, simulation part. So our animals interact not only with each other, but with the environment in an intelligent way. What do I mean by that? So, animals will hunt when they're hungry. Animals can lose those hunts. They will not always succeed. Animals will sleep. Animals will age. And with the environment, what does that mean? Here we have our currently in development terrain generation, but your characters will, of course, climb to hunt, and that will make it harder. They'll have parts of sea that they cannot access and stuff like that. Another one, deck building. So, as a player, you must build your deck, not only to prevent the extinction of species, but also to counter the effects of an upcoming catastrophe. This upcoming catastrophe, you will know the final catastrophe when you're building your deck, but you will not know smaller catastrophes that will happen during that run. An mutation system, which is my personal favorite part, that all species are modular, as you can see here. What does that mean? When you apply a card, for example, let's say longer legs, your species will actually get longer legs. These are some current funny-looking combos that we have so far in game. So we have two main game modes. So we have the story mode and the playground. The story mode, you have a limited number of capsules, so these will be levels designed by us. The goal is to teach the player, basically. So teach the different mechanics, introduce them slowly, challenge, and finally reward them. The playground mode is our current state of our prototype, where basically every environment is randomly generated, and you're trying to test out new cards, try out new strategies, and just have fun. Gameplay loop, quite simple. You build your deck, you mutate animals, you survive catastrophes, you unlock new cards, and you do it all over again. Inside game, how does the deck loop work? You draw an X number of cards, you either play or discard them. If it's the end of an era, you unlock new cards. If it's not, you draw more cards. And of course, at the end of that era, the ones you discarded get reshuffled into your deck. Quite simple. We have a little bit of lore behind our game. So you're this alien who just arrived to planet Earth, and planet Earth is completely destroyed, and is trying to understand how did this species survive different stuff. So he's just in this little capsule, in this little environment, trying new stuff out, and that's where the gameplay comes into play, where you use cards and you mutate those species. These are some in-game screenshots currently, our card illustrations. So, inspirations, I think they're quite straightforward. Planet Zoo, RimWorld, and Slay the Spire. Our target audience is, of course, card game enjoyers, strategy enjoyers, and simulation enjoyers. It's quite simple. We're using Unity. We have currently a team of 6 people, where I'm currently the team leader, 2D artist, UI, and programmer. João Almeida is our programmer. João Batista works on the 3D art, so does Nuno Batista. Mateus Pinho is our music and sound design, and Maria is another one of our programmers. So, our roadmap. So we have a working prototype that you can touch. It's out on itch. And we right now have 1 year more of implementation that we estimate, and then we have a half a year time for marketing, debug, and testing, stuff like that. So what are we looking for right now? We do the deving, now we need localization, funding, marketing, porting, and QA. We did a rough estimate of budget that I'll be happy to discuss with anyone. Platforms, we pretty much would like it to release on everything, so PC, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. And that has been the Ecosphere project. You can contact us here, and thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed our game. I also have to do the interpretive dance, right?
Yeah, you've got 30 seconds left, actually.
Okay. Whoa!
Thank you, Gonçalo. Experts, it is now your turn. And don't forget the paddles. You keep forgetting them. It's really rude. Thank you.
Can you show the budget slide again?
Yeah, sure.
It was really quick.
Can we get the slides
good
back?
Good reasons or bad reasons?
Oh, they're working on it. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are a team of 6. We are all students. So I really like feedback on the budgets. That's why I always ask, because it's something that we don't really know a lot about. So yeah, if you guys want to dissect it, I'll be more than happy to discuss it.
Okay. Of course, again, like this is just a 5-minute pitch, and I think you did a very good job in terms of presenting the gameplay, the mechanics, the core loop, as well as the theme capability and where you're heading. In terms of budget, of course, this is a very brief part of the budget, but I just would like to better understand what is this budget for? Is it just for your like monthly expenses in terms of like production, or is it for your 1 year of game development scope?
So our budget was giving in mind that 1.5 years of developing, basically.
So currently you already had some part of the game developed, and then you're going to spend 1 year and 1.5 years in total to finish it up. And this is the total budget you would like to achieve
for that
scope. Okay. So just one more comment. So you showed us the similar projects that your game is resembling, and that's a very good thing. That's one of the things that you would like to see to better understand where you're targeting, and you also share the audience. When you're showcasing the games that you are getting inspiration from, we would also love to see how many copies they sell. Okay, so like how many sales they did in each platform. That would also help us to better understand how many of the audience you can target with your own game. Great chapter.
Thank you, thank you.
I just want to say, like, holy shit, your charisma and stage presence.
Thank you.
Like, don't be afraid of it, right? You have a lot of energy when you're presenting. Walk around the stage, right? Because very few presenters can present without slides. And I think that with a little bit of practice, you don't need slides. You can just walk around the stage and capture everyone's audience, everyone's attention, and keep it. That's the difficult part, keeping it. So practice on that, and don't stop practicing. You'll be a really, really great speaker.
Thank you.
So and dancer, don't forget.
And dancer, yeah,
well, like
professional.
you improv under pressure, right? So that's a really difficult skill to obtain. And to you, since you guys are students, it just comes naturally. So just work on that. The only feedback that I have about the presentation is your email is too long. That's about it.
True. Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Other than that, great job.
Thank you.
And our final expert's opinion?
There are like hundreds of the same, you can find hundreds of the same genre, in that genre, right? You didn't do something original, but you show the way, what you inspired for. So what's your using selling points, I mean USP? What's the highlights? What's the...
Sorry, can you repeat
So
again?
there are like many, there are like hundreds of the games like in that same genre, right? You
Yes.
can find that. So what's your USP?
Your unique selling point.
My unique selling point, I'm sorry, like terms, I'm still trying to get to them, sorry about that. Our unique selling point, in my opinion, is the whole fact of using those species and mutating those species. I think that's quite fun in a strategy game. I feel like that's like what makes our game stand out, is the funny species that you can create and have fun. And not only that strategy where you're just focused on everything working out, but you actually have fun with it. I think that's our selling point. It's what we try to aim, is make our game, you have a serious mechanic, but you also have fun with it.
And now for the paddles. Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's out. Thank you very much. I don't know why I'm doing this sort of by microphone thing, but the Skyland Chronicles, developed by MFA Games, and here is Mateusz Urantówka, correct?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jörg.
Proszę bardzo.
Ever wondered what kind of game you would still love to play? What adventure would you like to dive into? And what character would you want to become? Before you answer, I want you to look at an amazing world we are bringing to life for you. You are an orphan pirate aspiring to become the greatest warrior the seas have ever known. Though no one's know you, your story will change everything. Imagine first ever isekai, where pirates meets his end only to be reborn in a wild Slavic world. I wrote the book while studying in a film school, and one day my writing mentor, professor in London Film School and Los Angeles Institute, Rafał Kapeliński, told me, Mateusz, you have very strong weapon in your hands, and I'm going to use that weapon for our game to blow your mind with excitement. This game is not for everyone. Single-player action-adventure RPG for hardcore players. It's for you if you are from 23 to 40 years old. First RPG with Theft Simulator. Game like a movie with mechanism that we are all looking for. But that's not all. This game is all about love. Your fate becomes deeply entwined by two women. First, whom you will tragically lose, and another, who reminds you of what you are fighting for. Some cool mechanism with mid-range chain attack. Cool, isn't it? If you ever wanted to play The Witcher with assassin movement, then now you should be looking at our game. And I can promise you this, we have something that Witcher doesn't have. You see, they created Slavic mythology from the people perspective. And we are the first studio in the world that will showcase Slavic mythology from the perspective of the gods. Story-driven games with dramatic atmosphere. That's us. Why us? Why not? You see, we create this game with you as a community. You have the power to choose our hero look, powers, and feelings. And because we know how to make it, and because we know how to make money. We didn't pay for any of these articles, and yet they wrote about us at the very early stage of the game production. Imagine how many of them will write about us if they get to know you joined us. Music is everywhere. Music can change the world, even stop wars. That's why we have Konrad, genius behind the sounds of UFC, FIFA, Cyberpunk, John Wick movie, or artists like Justin Bieber. Joining us connects you to top Grammy-winning artists and Hollywood best directors. We are not just making music. We are crafting unforgettable experiences. On Lemon is on in this game. Across stores all over the continent, our battle will go with unique QR codes. And that's just the beginning. Our reach goes far more beyond store shelves, having impact on the biggest European music festivals where everyone will feel the power of our brand. This roadmap shows time we need for development and funds for the same reason. Please don't read everything right now. I can send it to you later on. I came here today to offer you two deals. First is 300K to finish early access. Second, 1.85 million for full game development. Who are we? Traditional business driven by new technologies. We are MFI Games, and that's our project, the Skyland Chronicles. There is no play button, but we have very nice trailer.
Have you ever wondered about the world? Where humankind is about to go extinct? Because it turns out that this world exists!
Thank you very much, Mateusz.
Thank you.
Now, on to our experts.
How much money did you need? You said 200 something?
300K to finish early access, 1.85 million for full game development without marketing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I bet you're really funny in your natural language because you're pretty funny in English. You're great.
Trying my best.
The story is, it's clear that you put a lot of effort into it. It's just that you have 5 minutes to pitch a game to us. And then we go into like a book, into music, into festivals, and then loop back around. To me, it just feels like you should kind of focus just on the game, right? Because it would have been maybe better to have enough time to show the full trailer. And when you show hype, like articles, this and that, it would be more useful to expand about why people are writing about you and why it's exciting. And in general, I'm just like sitting here, like it's a lot of different aspects of information to digest. So maybe think about like a more cohesive story. So like the most difficult part in the pitch is actually what do you cut out of the pitch. And while you did a good job at compiling it visually, it's just a little bit too much. I just want to know, like, okay, well, is there a pirate ship sailing, right? Is it going to be like Black Flag, or is it going to be like more like something else? And also, when you show the key art in the very beginning, I did not see any of that. Like the key art was like, oh, is it Far Cry, maybe? But then you show pirates. So just think about consistency during the pitch is my feedback.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Alex. I want you tomorrow to come to our stand and see our game yourself. And the thing is, people don't invest just in project, they invest in money. And showing you all of this, I wanted to show that we made a lot of efforts in many different ways, joining, making big alliance with strong people, and this is our life, this is our job, and that's what we do.
So you're right? That's the right angle to go about. It's just that when you put up a slide that says our company turnover is like this and that, here's our company, here's the contract, you're kind of like skimming through this. You're like, oh, by the way, we're really cool. Let's go to the next cool part. Just spend a little bit of time on unpacking it, right? Like, how did you guys get here? Like, how does your book tie into that narrative, right? It's just about like streamlining the story so that a general person can understand it. Because if you're able to streamline that, then your pitch will go much, much further.
Thank you.
So the price is $59.99, right?
Yeah, almost 60.
60, okay. What's your reference game that? How did you decide that price?
So the price is on genres like The Witcher, Assassin. They almost all cost that much money, even more. I saw recently Black Myth of Wukong that went down, and it was a very good decision in my opinion. But considering that our game will go in 2 years and inflation will go up, I would still keep that money and go with it. With 60.
How many people working for you?
10 people.
10 people.
I think my feeling was you don't need me or my money. You've got a sponsor. You got people writing great articles. I mean, to Alex's point, it's a little distracting from really what you're pitching here is your game. But it sounded like you really thought the business side out, which partially scares me maybe as your partner. What am I going to do?
Yeah, so the thing is
Just
that...
a very quick one. We have like 20 more seconds, guys.
So I invested everything myself. At the age of 18, I established my first company. At the age of 25, I became film director in the Polish show business when I worked with the biggest Polish stars. Year later, I established second biggest hotel in my city, and this is paying for what we are doing. And I can't afford to go to the next level by myself. I need strong alliance.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I think we covered pretty much everything.
thank you. Raise your paddles, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Dziękuję bardzo. Don't trip. And now, our fifth and final candidate, MOVIEROOMS, Cinema Management, developed by Mad Pumpkins. And our presenters are Ariana Lona and Chiara Orsi. Please grace the stage. This is one mic. And this is, oh, it works. And this is yours.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Arianna and she's Chiara Orsi. We from Mad Pumpkins Game Studio. And let's dive into the action with our game trailer.
Hey there! Ever wish to create a cinema like this one? Follow me on a journey to forge your cinema empire. Become the manager of the movie theater of your dreams. Lead your crew in decorating and maintaining it, and curate a blockbuster lineup to draw in the crowds. But watch out, things took a wild turn. Legendary actors and directors have time traveled to the wrong eras. Buckle up to rewrite cinema history before it is gone forever. Dive into the world of MOVIEROOMS, a cinema management game.
So, imagine running your cinema. You are the tycoon now, so you need to keep operation efficient, manage your staff, and ensure a great experience of your customers. In this game, movie selection and scheduling are essential to avoid empty cinema theaters and maximize profit. So in this case, will you find the best strategy to attract the audience? Find out with MOVIEROOMS. This game will take you through space and time from the 1900s until the future, exploring the evolution of the innovation, cinema innovation, and facing the challenges of each era. And in the sandbox mode, you have complete creative freedom with high replayability. So you can customize your cinema with a vast selection of movie, equipment, and characters. In this slide, you can see our inspiration. And in this case, MOVIEROOMS is the only tycoon games focuses on the cinema theaters, and which estimate the final price between 21.19 and 24.19 euro. Given today's market challenges, we are exploring a community-driven sale approach that Chiara will explain next. We target a broad audience from age 7 and up. Thanks to our partner, the game will also be accessible to the less experienced cinema enthusiast players and the people with a certain disability.
Okay, here our core team of 5, plus other professionals on demand. We are a small indie studio with a full remote setup. We aim to produce high-quality content, and so can be a game changer for the cinema industry as well. And this is possible through various partnerships with cultural and global institutions, as you can see here. As I was saying, a cinema-centered game topic has a huge expansion potential. Thanks to our cinema partners, we can enrich the game with cultural and historical elements. Cinema Grand Rex in Paris is an example. Thanks. To release successfully the game in early access, we are seeking for a budget of 850,000 euros, covering launch marketing, 2 historical levels, and basic sandbox. We also can continue with DLC releases based on community demand and also player demands. So we have self-funded the alpha version of the game, thanks to our achievements. And we were able to release the early access in Q2 2025 with a publisher, possibly. And we'll assess whether to release more historical levels as substantial DLCs or to include them into the main game release. We're open to discuss this, of course. So here's a brief sum up. MOVIEROOMS is a premium PC game ready to be released by the end of the next year.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'll give the floor to the experts, but I had a quick question. I saw a level special COVID in there. There was a COVID level in the DLC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that's going to fly off the shelves? You're like, yeah, I want to fucking revisit that. That was fun.
Yeah, it's deeply connected to the cultural evolutions and so what happened in real life through the history, so even in modern eras.
Cool. It's up to you guys now.
All right, I'm a fan of these kind of games. I grew up playing, Team Hospital, like the very original one, and I still like my go-to game is actually SimCity 2013. Don't hate me. With mods, it's actually a really good game. And when you started talking about this, I was like, oh, that's actually a really cool idea. And then for some reason, none of where my imagination went to got addressed, because when you're doing a cinema, it's essentially an equivalent of like an events, like a stadium where you throw a concert, right? So then the main thing about that gameplay loop is logistics, right? Because like we all love standing in lines in the cinema, right, to popcorn this and that was not mentioned in the presentation. Also about when you went into the old actors resurrecting, it's a neat idea, right? But it just feels like it could be distracting, like we talked about in one of the previous pitches. It's about the focus of the core gameplay. And there's just so much opportunity for humor, because if you think about games like these are simulations, right? So, you want the NPC to be entertained, fed, have access to the toilets. Well, what if you remove the access to the toilets, and run that simulation? So there's just a lot of stuff that you can do there that I felt like was missing. The structure of the presentation is okay. It's just that as a player of this genre, I feel like I did not eat enough. You know, I'm still hungry.
Okay. First of all, I love to see the women founders. Congratulations. It's a very tough business, but yeah, it's amazing to see that. So the other thing is I would like to highlight, you did Kickstarter, right? You already done it. Did you apply any grants?
Yeah, in May 2024, we launched our Kickstarter campaign, and with only 3,000 euros of budget in advertising, and so it's a small amount if you think about it, but 258 backers chosen to support us, and we reached our funding goal. So we now have a small community that is very excited, and they're following us. So, yeah.
How many wish lists you have?
Wish list, okay. 1,230 now. Yeah, but it's increasing in time. It's a very low number, but we didn't invest in advertising and marketing, so we didn't expect that. We know that it's something that we have to invest. So, yeah.
The marketing part is not in our team, so we are looking a partner for communicate aboard the game.
Nice job. That was very cool. Couple random points in no order. When you finish your presentation, put your ask up there. I know you got cut off at the end. Maybe you're going to put it up there, but your last slide should be, this is what we need, this is where it's going to take us, so it just ingrains in our brain. The other exercise, which is very useful, is you have a lot of slides that you want to do, but you only have 5 minutes. But the way you get to your slides is make only 5 slides. If you cannot tell your story in 5 slides, you won't tell it in 500. So you had actually too much going on in there. So now I'm trying to figure out, what am I doing in the game? Am I going through time? Am I trying to get people to come in the theater? Or am I deciding between salt and sweet popcorn? But it looked very cool. I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, again, like, congratulations. It has a very compact presentation. I also like and wanted to highlight that you guys started with a small trailer, and it really helps when you have very little time to explain your game and core loop and the mechanics. So we had a better understanding with that trailer at the beginning, and then you had all that other time to explain everything so that we can follow up. The one thing that I also couldn't follow was that the timing, like you mentioned, there were like 1900s to the future lineup, so we weren't able to see that and how that's going to be applied within the game. That was the interesting part for me. I would love to learn more about that, but again, there were so many other like small videos, and we couldn't be able to track everything and what's going on in those images. And I think you also had a great job with the Kickstarter. And Simay asked how many of the like followers community have right now at the moment you have in your wish list. So I think that is something also really important in terms of publishers or investors to better understand the engagement metrics and the like community stage where you can head in the future. So that is something you should be definitely highlighting for your upcoming pitches.
Thank you.
Ariana and Chiara, thank you very much for this pitch. Thank you. Well, that brings us nearly, almost. Oh, the paddles! I mean, of course. You know, I wanted to get back to the theme of the night, is your idiot host forgetting everything. So, yes, paddles, please. Jesus Christ. See? There's going to be 4 paddles up anyway. So here we are at the end of this event, pretty much, but, so the lucky winner of tonight is going to win 2 business tickets to a DevGAMM 2025 of their choosing. And now our jury here will be debating between themselves. So we have 2 minutes to kill. Here, 2 minutes to kill. So I'm going to do, they're going to ignore that. It's like, you don't hear me or anything. Like, So why don't we just do like an informal sort of public vote in the meantime? You know, you basically all the sort of, you're the algorithm on Steam right now. So put your paws up if you're for the cat game. There. I mean, the camera can see anything, so I'm just going to decide, yeah, sure, I saw many. And the space game. Come on, guys. What about the Polish pirates? Not pirates. Vote! Like, you know, they're voting for the best game. Vote! Raise your hands. Okay, start again. All right. The first game, Babushcats. Raise your hand. That's right. Okay. Eternity. The Ecosphere project. The Skyland Chronicles. And the final candidate, MOVIEROOMS Cinema Management. All right. I think based on that, I think we can already have a feeling. Are the judges going to agree with the public? You never know. You never know. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm still killing some time here because, you know, they're clearly still thinking, debating, arguing. They look quite angry at this point at each other. I don't know. But it's interesting. I was talking to a publisher, speaking of wish lists, a couple of days ago, and they released a sequel to a very successful game of theirs at the end of August. And they had 40,000 wish lists. 40,000 wish lists. It's not bad, you know. Highly anticipated title, you know, on the front of Steam Fest, you know, Next Fest, etc. Guess how much money it actually made since the end of August, based on those numbers? Because we're also married to the power of these metrics. 20,000. 20,000. So yeah, maybe we need a little bit more than just those wish lists. Maybe we indeed need to have, you know, some genuine excitement from audience and actually hear them in a room. Maybe we need to have gladiator fights in the future, right? Between games. I don't know, something to get out there. So it's like, how are we getting on there, jury? I think they're still discussing. Huh? I can't tell. That would be unfair to the publisher told me in confidence what the numbers were. But I guess I could tell you in private or something? I don't know. So, yeah. But, you know, there's many examples of it right now. So it is quite nice to be able to do a public event where you can feel how an audience actually soaks up a pitch, and rather than just seeing algorithms grinding us into death on Steam. How are we getting on, judges?
We need more beer.
Alcohol, please. Well, okay, so we did. So we had lots of cheers for cats, I feel, but the cats always win. It's kind of a cheat. I'm sorry. It's kind of a cheat. Put a cat in the game, like, right?
We're actually debasing, just so you know.
You what?
We're actually debasing here.
Oh yeah, they're debating. Well, we can see that. But yeah, so cats win by default. Okay, I'll give you some other animals, and you can vote on whether you'd like to see them instead of cats. Armadillo. Leopards. Like cats. Doesn't work. Elephants. Would you like more elephant games? Who would like an elephant game? It's so surprising. They're so cute. What the?
We're ready.
Oh, they're ready. Sorry. The elephant wins. So, who is the lucky winner? Do you guys want to come on the stage, maybe? Can we do that? Can they come on the stage? Come on the stage. Come.
Anton's not happy with that.
Come on the stage. Let's. These experts aren't just faceless suits. You know, they're human beings, flesh and blood with feelings and everything, sort of. So, who's going to be announcing?
Okay, I think that would be me. So it was a very tough decision, to be very honest. I think considering the context and the layout they presented, we wanted to choose the most feasible and realistic version of a pitch. Of course, the energy and other things are quite important as well, but in terms of the layout, to inspire you guys as well, we wanted to go with the very last presentation with movie rooms. So congratulations to the ladies. We wanted to choose this one particularly because of the layout and the information they presented. So it was very compact and we almost saw everything we want to see in a presentation, in a pitch in 5 minutes. On the other hand, we also would like to thank you to number 3. Thank you, Gonzalo, for your energy. So it was also good. We also love your presentation in terms of layout and the structure. There were some things missing.
Congratulations.
And
Thank
Tittel
you
for
very much, judges. You've done a great job. I mean, I tried. I failed with the paddles. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I will never be invited back to DevGAMM. But you are invited back to DevGAMM, which is fantastic. Wishing you lots of success and lots of success to all the great candidates, all the great job you did today. It's terrifying up here. Trust me, I know. Have a good evening, everyone. This has been an amazing first day at DevGAMM Lisbon. Thanks also to our sponsor. I have to say that again, I think, legally. And to Xsolla. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And enjoy your evening, everybody. Thank you.
Take care.